Okay, just an update. It is the 20th of February. Now, last time I checked in, I believe I was putting up the February 15th plants a little bit late, a couple days. Well, now we ended up taking a lot of the initial planting, like the lettuces and the onions, the sorrels, the clovers, a lot of different things like that, the kales. They were ready to be transplanted. However, we do have to harden them. So right now they are sitting outside in probably 40-degree weather, windy too. I'm going to let them sit out there for about 30 minutes to an hour, and then I will start hardening off from there. I'm going to go show you those in just a moment, but I thought it would be interesting to show you one. Look at this asparagus. This asparagus went in how many days ago, Lindsay?
Maybe a week.
Probably it's been less than a week for sure for this asparagus, and it is already probably 4 inches tall. Doing great. Hyssop in status, no luck yet. Our strawberries are doing good. They are showing true leaves, but still very, very small. The better strawberries are up here. Let me see here. I don't know where I put them. Oh, here we go. So yeah, you can see a strawberry leaf there. But an issue that's coming about is the roots. So roots are starting to develop too fast. Gaillardia, you can see, and that's just one of the smaller plants. Let me find, well, let's take the asparagus for example. Look at that. I mean, that was only in less than a week ago, so we need to make those, put those in a bigger cup. Let's go and take you outside and show you what we're hardening off. Okay, so here you have it. All of our chives, our butter crunch lettuces, the purpley lettuce, tom thumb lettuce, kales, sorrels, onions, right? All these things. Look at them. They're doing really well. But let's take a look at this root development here. I'll try to do this. Let's see. Look at that. I mean, that's already starting to get bound up and everything. One of the great benefits of these is how open they are at the bottom. You see, nothing falls out, but it allows all the roots to spread out and even go to other seed pods, which I noticed. I much prefer that than them getting bound up. All I have to do now is peel this off like a cupcake wrapper, and those are ready to get in the garden. So it's very cold out here. I'm not going to leave them out much longer. You can see even maybe some bad things happening, white on the kale leaves. You know, they're definitely starting to outgrow their situation. So tomorrow the potatoes go in. We're supposed to put them on the 14th of February, but a little late on that. So we're going to put potatoes in tomorrow, get the garden beds even more ready, and then these will be following suit. Okay, so it is the 25th of February, and we are going to transplant these outside. We have hardened them slightly, and you can see there is some discoloration. It got really low on some of those nights. You know, they were out there. You know, the arugula is kind of changing colors, but really, a lot of these are just the starter leaves coming off and dying out, and then some of the other leaves are pretty darn healthy. So, you know, all of our onions, chives, kale, all that stuff. Sugar snap peas as well. Now, they're getting really big really fast. Go ahead and, you know, it's best to just transplant them. However, we ran into a problem. You see, the broccoli and the Brussels sprouts that we had and bought from the nursery and we're putting here until we were ready to plant them have actually gave some of our other plants aphids. More specifically, the sugar snap pea. As you can see here, I don't know, I'm going to see if I can get an angle on it. You can see we got some aphids in there. Might be a little difficult for you to see, but there's aphids on the sugar snap. And it was sitting right next to the pea, you know. I took all these down here because they're about to go out, but oh dear. Yeah, so we got some aphid issues now. I'm putting those over there, keeping them away from each other. But yeah, you know, we're running into issues. Asparagus getting a little too big to be here. Might have to work that out. What else? Another pea plant. Supposed to go over here. Yeah, things are growing great. Strawberries are becoming more and more pronounced every day. The morning glories are getting absolutely massive, and that's worrisome because, well, they're not going to go out for another month. So I don't know how big those are going to get. We're going to have to transplant them into bigger pots. Everything's just doing well. Some things aren't growing as fast. The Asylum, especially. Hyssop and status still haven't sprouted, probably due to the vernalization. Maybe we need to put them in the fridge or something for a week, something weird like that. Coleus, believe it's close. Yeah. Yarrow doing good. Anyway, so this is the 25th of February. We're gonna go out and plant these plants, and we'll let you know how that goes. Okay, so it is March 5th. We have all of our stuff planted for March 1st, February 15th, and January, February. Now, some things aren't doing so well. We can see here the Asylum starting to look a little bad, right? Gallarda, the asparagus seems to be somewhat stunted, and I don't know if you noticed, but there's quite a lot of gnats or flies, and on top of that, I pulled out the asparagus, and there was actually some larvae inside the roots and around the cup. So these are bad things. Dehydration setting in also, and you might notice that we have some humidity domes here, right? We bought, these were I think like $5-10 a piece, 72 little plugs each, and we planted out our stuff for March 15th in these. As you can see here, hyssop, bloody dock, kilt daga, or lion daga, or lion, okra, mountain mint, catnip, all that good stuff, right? Some peppers. We planted them all in here. We just didn't have enough time for these. We like these a lot, and they do a great job, I think, at staving off the root rot. And on top of that, you can water from the bottom because of the, unlike these, this is, I believe, Morning Glory that didn't sprout. You got 2 holes at the bottom. It's a lot harder for the water to wick through. However, you can reuse them. These, not so much. Pros and cons to each. The Morning Glories are getting a little too big. However, we can't put them out yet because we do still statistically have a frost coming. The tomatoes are doing excellent as well, but how long will it be until 2 or 3 tomatoes outgrow these tiny little pots? As you can see here, some mold and stuff. The gnat problem is getting pretty bad. So we've got some beer in here with some Castile soap. We're trying that out. We got 2 victims already, and it's only been about 5 minutes, and as well as a couple apple cider vinegar and dish soap traps. It looks like we only have 1 victim so far, but I got multiple of those set up. I might even do like 5 or 6 more around here just to get all these out of here. I tried going in with a vacuum and vacuuming out some of the gnats, and that did work, but obviously I don't want to vacuum out the soil, and this is just getting bad. It's been really difficult keeping up with the watering. We had a sheet as a humidity dome here, where we had a sheet wrapped around everything, and that was working good, but like I said, this is just becoming very difficult to keep up with. It looks like some stuff is getting stunted or it's growing slower, and I don't know if that's from the lack of light, because we're getting per shelf about, let's say 120-ish, 130 watts, which probably isn't enough for the 8 square feet that we're having. And you can see here we forgot, we didn't water this one in time. We've been really busy, so it's been hard. But some stuff's doing good, and I guess that's part of it. I'm gonna get you up here so you can see what's going on. Oh jeez. Ooh. Yeah, no victims in that one yet. Lavender is sprouting. Some of the Morning Glories are up here. They're really just mixed with things. We got sage growing, yarrow. These tomatoes they're doing good, but the LT tomatoes aren't doing so good. I'd have to refer back to our list to find out what type of tomato that is. But yeah, they all, it was a nationwide deal. So yeah, that's what's going on right now. These gnats or fruit flies or whatever they are causing a ruckus, and we don't want those larvae getting in the roots. That might be what is stunting these asparagus. Either that or just having root rot. Let me get one out and show you what's going on here. Okay, so the roots are healthy, but you might be able to see there is critters in this soil. Actually, you know what? If I had to guess, I'd probably say that the asparagus isn't dead, but it's just working on its roots right now. That's maybe the best way to put it. Maybe it's building up that root ball. You can see all those whatever they are. Oh, we did have aphids as well. On top of all these problems, we did have aphids as well. You can see some aphids up in here. On that right there. Let's smush them out. But yeah, so, you know, problems are starting. And I'm hesitant, like I said, about bringing stuff out to the garden because it's just too early in the game. We might have sprouted these things too early. But anyway, I'm going to keep going after these gnats and killing them. And I will let you in on another. Okay, so it is March 12th, and things are definitively happening. Our gnat infestation was getting so bad after even repeated treatments of neem oil, nothing seemed to stop them. You can see this graveyard here where many lives were taken. There might be a couple survivors, but some of them just plain and simply aren't worth saving. Like these right here. Would appear to be maybe pansies or something like that. Yeah, let's pull one out and see. That is a healthy root, sure, you know, but I feel as though just planting another seed and waiting 4 days or 5 days for it to germinate would be sufficient, and then you'd get a plant that's way bigger. What was happening is the cardboard just flat out is not working. It was causing the plants to just rot out. And, you know, the moisture was just too hard to get a hold of. Now, these worked way better. As you can see, it looks like heaven or something. It's beautiful in here. We got 4 of these we're taking out to the garden, or I'm taking out. And we got another one behind me with the tomatoes and stuff like that. And then over here we got a couple of, you know, potential possible survivors. And over here we got some potential survivors that I might take out. And, you know, this one's doing actually pretty good. And same with the beets. A little bit of seed stretching, stuff like that, but, you know, no big deal. And this, I have room, so I'm just going to try to take them anyway. You can see that. Look at that. Oh wow. I mean, it is just rotting away. And, you know, that's not good. That's not what we want. The cups worked far better. I'd say we had about, you know, 85-80% success rate with the cups versus what appeared to be 100% initially with the cardboard, but later turned out to not even be close to 100, like 10% or something. You know, I mean, like really, really tragic stuff happens. They would sprout initially, and then they'd start to turn purple, yellow, and then just die. And, you know, that would be indicative, obviously, of some sort of water issue. Purple being a phosphorus deficiency, but I don't think that's what's going on. Being that they're just showing their true leaves, why would they be having a phosphorus deficiency? But, yeah, I mean, you know, it wasn't all death. I mean, we got some survivors, you can see. But, like I said, they're just, I mean, look how big. I think that's maybe a zinnia or a marigold right there in that white cup. Look how big that is in comparison to everything else that was planted, what, a month before? I mean, it's a joke, you know. But you live and you learn, never again. Now, with the Jiffy, you know, 72 tray seed count, yada yada, 100% success rate. I mean, look at this. Everything's doing great. This is the first day I took the humidity dome off. I didn't plant anything here. Just planted over here, and I did give them a dose of neem oil to prevent any fungus or anything. I saw some green was starting to come about, you know, some algae or whatever. But yeah, so the humidity dome is off today. They are going to be, you know, strengthening up a little bit. You can see just how weak that seedling is. Crazy stuff. Maybe a fan or something later, but yeah, you know, we got a couple little fungus gnats in there. No big deal. I'm going to go ahead and take all these out to the garden. Our next dose, the March 15th bag, is a fat bag of seeds we have to plant. So I got to get all this out of here. A lot of failures, but a lot of lessons learned. And, you know, that's really the most important part about all of this is I went big this year. You know, me and Lindsay decided to go really big, kind of above our means almost in a way. But we're trying to maximize the amount of experience we can get every year now because of the years that we fell short and didn't do anything, right? I mean, I've been gardening for 7, 8 years, something like that, right? But there was a couple of those years where I just didn't really do too much, you know. And I should have been doing something like this every single year, to where I would have, I would have been 10 years ahead of myself right now. And the best time to start's yesterday, best time to plant a tree is 20 years. That's just life, right? So, but yeah, go big. Don't be afraid to put your foot in the door and start walking around the building. I'm gonna go ahead and bring all this out to the garden and transplant all of it. I don't even know where half this stuff is gonna go. There's a lot of stuff going on the property that y'all probably have not seen yet. That's gonna be coming up in a future video or whatever. But I have like 15 videos that I need to be releasing, and it's just kind of nauseating the amount of like figuring out I have to do. We've been doing so many projects every day that I haven't had time to edit and produce videos out of it. But I recorded everything. It's just a matter of really figuring out what style of videos I want to do. I don't know if I want to I don't really know if I want to like do it to where, let's say I build a fence, which is coming. I'm building the fence. I don't know if I want to do DIY fence or just include that in a homestead episode. So a bit of a stylistic technical difficulty. I don't know what you want to call it. Anyway, I'm gonna go out there in the garden, record all this, and figure out what I'm gonna do with the footage later. I just thought I'd show off all these seedlings. They're about to all go in the ground. And I better hurry because it looks like rain might be coming. Okay, so this is the last of our plants. A lot has happened since that last update I gave. The March 15 bag was so big. We ended up buying a lot of these and using, the little seed starting trays instead for those. However, we put them out and a frost came out of nowhere. It was like 40 degrees out, or it might have got below zero, and it pretty much just wiped out everything. Yeah, it's sad, but that's life when you try to do things too early in the garden. Tragedy's gonna strike. Now I'm hardening these off. These are gonna go out. These are some pumpkins. I think like some Long Island squash or something like that, and then a Connecticut variety that's like your traditional pumpkin, a carving pumpkin. Coxcomb and Kiss Me Out of the Garden Gate. Germination rate on this was terrible, but it is what it is. So yeah, you can just see the difference in health between these and the other plants. So what was happening actually was it was the soil. Right now I'm using a seed starting mix. It's literally, it might as well just be coconut coir. You see that? Or something like that. And I was using potting mix. I'll show you that right now. This is what I was using. This is yeah, there's bugs in it too. Those fungus gnats. They still haven't vacated. So that stuff was what was causing all of the rot, all the just water issues. I mean, it was just so bad, y'all. It was so bad. This stuff though, look, although there isn't really any nutrients in it, look how everything's doing well. This got hit really hard with water issue, but what had happened was it gives you those little, those little pellets that you have to hydrate. Well, one of them got like wedged in there, so it didn't hydrate well. So this one's, it is what it is. Yeah. So now, lesson learned. It wasn't the seed starting cups. It wasn't the Dixie cups. It wasn't anything like that. What it was hardening off plants, bringing them inside to an area that was filled with rot and nasty potting mix, and then the fungus gnats just took over. Here though, no fungus gnats, no problems. Just lesson learned. Seed starting cups are good, but I'm just gonna go with these anyway. You can reuse them after you're done. I mean, it's just a lot more simple, right? So yeah, you didn't get to see a lot of the plants that we did plant. I hope at least a couple of them survived in the garden, like the sunflowers and the, we just had so much stuff. But a lot of it, like I said.
anyway, that's been the seed starting update, start to finish. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. Now, be sure to check out all the homesteading, videos in that series, because you're going to be able to see them in the garden in action, growing and living.